Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Rune, just quickly see what's going on now. I got a lot of requests from this recently, so thank you to my community members, Jonathan and Isabel. I appreciate you requesting that I cover this. Take a look here at Rune though, first and foremost, a couple things to kind of specify is that it's definitely on the uptrend, but it's reflected a lot of Bitcoin. So this has a very similar feel to it, and I'll explain more about that here in a moment. If you're new to the channel though, not a financial advisor, I love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. My goal and my passion is to help you become a better trader. I've been trading for over 16 years now at this point, and I can tell you it's my full-time job. I love doing this, and it's just it's a good life. So honestly, thank you again to everyone who's shown the support over the last year's worth of trading on YouTube here. So appreciate you. All right, so taking a look here at Rune. Big picture, one thing to notice is, of course, oh, you know what? I forgot to mention, I do have a website if you want to become a better trader. Completely skip that. CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. I have a signal group, trading community, and trading academy. Really awesome stuff to help to get you on the right track with your trading. So here's something to note. One thing I want to kind of specify, a couple things first of all. I see a lot of good stuff here. First things first, we're above both moving averages. You don't see this a lot with a lot of coins right now. Whereas the 50 intersects with a 200 in an upward fashion, that's referred to as a golden cross, and oftentimes the price will continue to increase from there. Now, there's no guarantees, of course, but that really just helps us understand that we're back above both moving averages, and that's a very important thing. We're also testing 50 in the RSI, kind of sort of broke through it, but this one-day candlestick hasn't closed yet, so we can't confirm. But we are trying to break back above, which would put us more so on the right side of the tracks, the more so bullish instead of bearish side of things. Because for the last 10 days, we've been stuck under 50 on the RSI and essentially kind of holding underneath. Now, MACD potentially converging here, basically just telling us that the bears are losing control and the bulls are gaining control. So mostly good stuff there in that sense. So again, pretty much a lot of positivity here. Something we also want to take a look at, just curious here, is we came all the way down to a 9 and even went into a little bit extra overtime. So this even got further overextended than Bitcoin did here recently, but it bounced off this key level support here at about $7.23, which was what, if I'm not mistaken, that was a key level support in the past and a resistance. So generally speaking, we can expect $7.23 to be the lowest point in which the price will go. Obviously, we're upwards of $9 right now, which is generally speaking, we're not in bad shape at all. This is looking very good in the grand scheme of things. We have this potential momentous trend back to the upside. Taking a look at the 4 hour, we can see that we are tentatively still making lower lows and tentatively still making lower highs. So until that trend is broken, I wouldn't feel super confident. This is a fantastic recovery, of course, but until we can get back above $9.26, for example, a nice clean close above $9.26 on the 4 hour, then I wouldn't expect this trend to be reversed just yet. Okay, again, very good start, but we're not quite out of the woods yet. Now, granted, that's not like the only decision-making thing you want to look at, but lower highs and lower lows, that kind of pattern, breaking that trend is a very strong start, a good point, good thing to start with. This definitely has good momentum here, but if it's a return of the previous, it'll continue to go lower if we see that same behavior. Now, again, it's similar in a lot of ways to Bitcoin, so I'm not super concerned because right now Bitcoin is making higher lows and higher highs on the smaller time frames. So, if Bitcoin can continue to maintain that, I feel Rune will probably be able to break this little resistance here. So just be aware of that essentially. It's something to just be mindful of. Again, not a complete green light, so to speak, but we're seeing a lot of positive stuff here. Speaking of positives, take a look at the 4 hour TD sequential. We're at a 7. Bitcoin's also at a 7 as well. So we're experiencing a potential reversal in the next 8 hours. So in other words, we could see a little bit more upside, but I think the likelihood of that pushing much harder in the immediate future is fairly low unless Bitcoin pumps to 42,000 plus. That being said, Bitcoin, getting rejected essentially by 41,600 could really anticipate the price to come back down. If it were to, we're going to see what the support level of $8.50 will do for us. Okay, so we got a support at $8.50. So hopefully that holds. But generally speaking, there is a resistance channel right around $9.50 with the 200-day SMA, and of course the Fibonacci retracement line here. That on top of 925, big picture, we really need to be able to see something above 925 to make this happen. Okay, so again, all good stuff here in that sense. We're looking pretty decent, but not terrible either. Kind of more so fair to Midland on the 4 hour here, because again, we're a bit on the overextended side. We got some resistance to pass. If we can get a close above, just say 950, then we're gonna be looking pretty good. Okay, I think that's really a big thing to look for. Looking at the 4 hour, 1 hour, we are in overtime here as well. Something to note is we came up to a 9, hit that reset button, and then of course continues higher. So again, instead of getting a full-on reset, essentially, it just continues much higher here. So what that really tells us is that it is overextended on the shorter time frame here, and that a pullback would be likely. It would make sense for the price to pull back at least enough to get a reset here, where we can get some sideways action, then leg up again, or even more comfortably, come back down here to this key level resistance and bounce like a support. Okay, so again, 850 would probably be a pretty good place in which we'll see the price come down to bounce if it were to come back down that far. Again, there's no guarantees, but it does look like it's outside of its standard deviation. So when we look at the time frame here in the 15-minute, you can see it got well overextended and then came back down to retrace to essentially contract and get within that deviation. Because if you go too far outside of standard deviation, at least on the volume weighted average price, it'll force the price to come back down. What that basically just means is that right now, based on the volume, the amount of volume that Rune has, albeit higher than usual, the price should be $8.73. Instead, the price is at $9 and tried to pass $9.25 and got rejected because, again, it was too far outside of that because there wasn't enough volume to complement that deviation. All right, anyways, that's generally what you want to look at. As far as more smaller time frame stuff, that's more day trading tools, but generally speaking, that's kind of a concept here as well, showing us that overextension and the reason why we're seeing this pullback. So again, the price may not pull back to 850, but if it does, it'd be a great place to add your position. If it doesn't, it should continue higher. Again, a close today above $9.25 would be phenomenal. Okay, but the key here, and here's something that is important, on the 1 day, it is making a higher high so far. Okay, that's an important step in the right direction. So that's going to lead us to potentially higher lows and higher highs on the smaller time frames as well. All right, so mostly positive stuff here. I would say if we're to give it a percentile, it's a 60% probability Rune is back on track and should continue to progress higher. I just wouldn't be surprised if we see a slight pullback down to 850, 852 range, and then potentially an increase from there. But a close today at or around the current price point, preferably 925 or higher, would be phenomenal. That'd be excellent. What we're looking for. So hopefully you found benefit and you understand kind of how I communicated this. Hope it makes sense to you. Once again, CryptoCache.tech is the website if you want to become a better trader. We're going to, I might actually consider sending a signal here for Rune. We sent out 3 this morning, as a matter of fact. I think one of them already hit our profit target, so it's a really cool experience. Check that out in your own time, of course, but I do look forward to working with you if you decide you want to do that. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you next video. Take care.